says live. So we are live. It's a Saturday, but we're, like I said, I think it's almost like 2 months of COVID lockdown. So I invented new ways to network with people around the world. And this time we have our first guest from Africa, Nkem Offonabo. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you,
And
Vincenzo.
thank you for showing up here. It's really fun. It's such a pleasure, such an honor. Like I mentioned to you, I've only been to Morocco when I was 16. I was at that point I was in an American high school in Rome, and we all went to Morocco in the desert, and that was fun.
Oh,
Then I went to Egypt with my family a while
okay.
back. I haven't been any south of that, and from the little that I know, it's different. You're from
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, Lagos, the capital, and there's definitely a lot of stuff that I want to ask you about Africa.
Abuja. Sorry
Oh,
for Abuja is the capital. Federal Capital
oh,
Territory is Abuja, not
okay.
Lagos. Lagos
I
used
used to
to
be.
be so.
Oh, yeah, Lagos used to be the capital because I used to be
Lagos used to be
amazing
the
at
capital.
capitals. When I was a kid, I was literally reading and memorizing the atlas. So I do remember that.
Okay.
I think back when did the capital change?
Maybe I'm not exactly sure, but probably around 90s, early
Okay, 90s.
90s,
Maba came. Okay.
early
Anyways,
90s.
sorry, I didn't review my geography, my African geography, and that's where I'm
It's
poorest
fine.
actually in terms of geography because it's a lot
It's
of
fine.
countries. And anyways, um, we're gonna talk about work-life balance because Nkem is focused actually on work-life balance. She has almost 80,000 followers, so obviously she's been saying a lot of really interesting stuff for having so many people listening
Mhm,
to her and following her. And
mhm,
I'll be honest, it's been like super tough in terms because I'm a workaholic, but I
mhm,
realized how important my little walks around my town
mhm,
were because I was
mhm.
walking in the morning about an hour or half hour, in the afternoon,
Okay.
and then in the evening. So I was
Okay.
doing between 3 to 12 kilometers depending on the day,
Okay.
and just like breathing
Okay.
fresh air, and that was like so important to keep that balance. So now it's like I did things like putting my pull-up bar on my terrace and spending more time on the other balcony, so just trying to still breathe the fresh air, but obviously it's not
Mhm.
really the same. So let me ask you to introduce yourself and maybe start talking a little bit
Okay.
about work-life balance, and I'm sure then I'll ask you
Okay.
some questions. You guys also feel free to ask questions. We'll be more. It's really easy for us to get questions on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. It's not as easy to see them on LinkedIn because I actually need to be on the other screen. So we'll try. Worst case, we
Okay.
also have two groups on Telegram and WhatsApp where it's also easier to see the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to
Interesting.
ask and we'll try
Interesting.
to answer them. So once again, thanks for joining. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about work-life balance and what you do.
All right. Thank you, Vincenzo. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I see it as an honor as well, being your first guest from Africa. Okay, so my name is Nkem Offonabo, and I'm the lead coach and consultant of the WorkLife Organization Global Limited. Okay, and the WorkLife Organization, I have to cut it short. The WorkLife Organization is a professional coaching and human resource management consultancy. So what we do at the WorkLife Organization is helping busy professionals. We create initiatives that will help busy professionals take control of their lives. So in order to improve their performance, their productivity, and their profitability. And while doing that, also we guide organizations to build a great place to work because these employees work in an organization. So we guide organizations to build a great place to work and systems that will enable the people and the business to thrive. So basically, that is what we do. So working with individuals, that is busy professionals, we help them create a balanced life because we understand that life is holistic. And when you focus so much on work alone, you let other areas of your life suffer. Because in life, we have other critical areas of life aside of work. Work is just an aspect of life. So I could mention about 12 areas of life. There is work or your career or your business. You have your finances, you have your health and your wellness. I hear you mention about taking care of your health, going on jogging, taking walks and all of that. So health is also very important. Your relationship is very important. For those that are married, you can include marriage. You have the home and family. You have your spirituality. You have your self-esteem as an individual. You have your finance. You have your friends and social network. All of these areas, I know I didn't mention up to 12, but what I'm trying to point out is that work is just an aspect of life. So what we do in terms of work-life coaching or work-life balance coaching is to be able to bring individuals to prioritize every aspect of their life, the critical areas of their life, in order to improve their performance and productivity. That's basically what we do at the WorkLife organization. And then for organization, we also do more like an in-house coaching for employees as well.
So, like I said, I was gonna take notes, so I'm literally taking notes. It's true. And we have time. It's Saturday. I'm chilling, and I really need to focus on thinking more about this work-life balance. Like I realized I've worked way too hard, and like I mentioned, those walks were really helping me balance my life towards life with the on the health and the even self-esteem, right? I think I gained some weight since not doing all of that, so my self-esteem went down a little bit. So, but I would definitely, in my interest, but maybe I think also other people are interested in knowing exactly what those 12 are, so we can start to think. Like, do you mind if we actually, so I know you mentioned health, self-esteem.
Okay, let me list them. Yeah, so let me list them now. So you have your health and wellness. That is one. You have health and wellness. You have relationship and marriage. Okay, you have home and family. You have career, business, work. So depending on, some are in career, some are in business. So that is 4. Then you have your money, your wealth, and your finance. That is the 5th one. You have your friends and social network. That is the 6th one. You have your self-esteem or self-confidence. So you have your passion and energy. Okay. You have fun and recreation. Okay. And you have your spirituality. You have your spirituality. You have success and achievements. You also have peace and contentment. That is actually the ultimate. Okay, because when you are able to optimize all of these areas, what it translates to is peace and contentment. And if you want to see how all these areas are connected, they are interrelated and interconnected. When one aspect of your life is suffering, so imagine you are in a relationship and your relationship is turbulent, it's going to affect some other areas of your life. It could affect your self-esteem. So if you are in a relationship with a partner who doesn't appreciate you, it could affect your self-esteem. It could also affect your performance at work. Okay, so I'm just trying to let you see how all these areas are interconnected. Exactly. So, and for you to see how it is really important that you just prioritize each and every one of them. It's not necessarily that you will compartmentalize your time to say, okay, I apportion 8 hours of my day to work, 1 hour of my day to probably my relationship with my family. But just little effort in each and every one of these areas, as long as they are important to you, it helps you become a wholesome person, and you tend to achieve that peace and harmony that every one of us craves for.
Yeah, I'm really glad I asked you to go over this 12 also, because I think so many times when people say work-life balance, they think like work 50% and life 50%. Exactly. Or maybe they actually think like it's like work 30%, life 30%, sleep 30%, something like that. And now it's like this 12 categorization really help, because it makes you realize that work is like 1 out of 12. And and then I shared on one of our posts, the one of the posts where we shared like that we were gonna do this. That yeah, like in order to be, in
Okay,
order
I think I
to,
saw it. I think I saw that. Yeah.
in order to be productive with your maybe
Mhm.
I can share this because I thought this was like a good encapsulation of kind of some of the concepts.
Mhm.
Which one would this probably? It might be this. Let me check. No, it's actually I'm sharing again basically the wrong tab. So just give me 1 second.
Okay, that's
Um,
fine.
okay, so this one was right. So, and I've definitely done this mistake, right, of thinking that like
Okay.
I'm super productive if I just work a lot, and actually these guys
Mhm.
haven't captured everything, and probably like your list of needs the sleep part, which I don't know where it is in here, like, but either 13 is actually, it's funny, like,
Did I mention fun and recreation? Fun and recreation is also very important. Fun,
yeah.
recreation, and rest is also very
Okay, fun,
important.
recreation, and rest
And
and
rest.
sleep, which
Mhm.
which I think
Yeah,
they're like two
exactly.
different things, which are really good. Both of them are
Mhm.
super important. So yeah, and then healthy, health and wellness. I guess there's
Health
the
and
word
wellness.
healthy eating. It's
Mhm.
part of that, and I guess the
Mhm.
time off is like part of still that fun and recreation. And then
True.
your
True.
list has really important stuff like friends, which is like
Mhm.
you could actually take this graph and make a better version of it with the other parts of the cake, and I think that the
True.
hard work could easily be a little smaller, and with
Mhm.
that part of the cake, it's like too big for the hard work. I feel no,
Yeah.
it's
And
like
so,
I realized, because what I've been doing, for instance, is that I've been realizing that when I need to be productive for something, if I'm outside right now and I'm on the balcony
okay.
and I'm on my laptop, I'm
Mhm.
happier because there's some wind, there's some more air, and I'm just doing more of
Mhm.
that, right? So I'm still working, but I'm trying to do it in a place, in an area in which I'm considering the fun and recreation or the health, right? Because and every time
True. True.
that I start speaking, here in this room, which is an amazing library for my grandfather, I go and try to and open the balcony because I
I
need
love the
air.
backdrop though. I love the
Yeah,
backdrop though.
it's actually it's true. It's all true, right? It's actually I can pull up a book from here, so
Okay.
it's real.
All
But
right.
so going back to us, just because there's so much to discuss here, and thanks. We have a comment from, maybe it's a friend of yours or colleague of yours, Enosam, that says,
Okay.
awesome session here. This is insightful. And
Okay.
she's asking about your upcoming book. Let's maybe talk about
Okay.
that right away. We love comments and so on. So if there's a comment, we'll cover it right away. So tell us about your book.
Okay, so interestingly, I'm writing a great book. Like, the book is not out yet, but a lot of people have reviewed the book and amazing, amazing, amazing reviews. And I can't wait to launch the book. So the book title is actually The Harmonized Life. So what I'm talking
Nice.
about there is the harmonized life. Yeah. So what I'm talking about there is moving away from the narrative of balance to the narrative of harmony. So harmonizing all these 12 critical areas of life that I have mentioned here. Okay. Starting from the first thing is actually for an individual to understand his or her vision in life or purpose in life. Okay. So when you understand your purpose, which is the first thing, in order for you to live a very harmonized life, you need to understand your purpose, why you are here on earth, the problem you are sent here on earth to solve. So I know I'm sounding very spiritual now, but
No,
for
no.
you
I
to
mean,
talk about for you to talk
I was
about a harmonized life, there has to be that self-awareness of who you are, what makes you different, okay, and what is it that you are offering the world. What global solution are you solving as an individual? So when you understand that, it will harmonize every other thing you are doing. It will just help you to focus. Okay, so in that book I talked about almost all these 12 areas of life that we talked about. So starting from the first chapter, I talked about having a work-life vision, how to create a holistic goal, Okay, so we don't just create a business goal or a career goal or a financial goal, which is very critical. These are the three areas that I know a lot of people at the start of a new year, they create, oh, I want to make a certain amount of money this year. I want to build this business and all of that. But they have forgotten that there are other critical areas of life. So in that first chapter, I talked about holistic goal setting. So when you talk about after holistic goal setting, I talked about, I think the second chapter is about emotional intelligence, because you find out that people have goals that they've set for the year, but they find out that they have very limiting and disempowering belief systems or value system that hampers them from achieving those goals. So in chapter 2 of that book, I talked about how you can build your emotional intelligence so that you will be able to relate well with yourself. First of all, self-awareness, be able to understand yourself, be able to self-regulate yourself so that you will be able to relate better with people. So in that chapter 2 also, I talked about social media intelligence, okay, which is actually what I utilized in creating almost 80,000 followers on LinkedIn, okay. So that is chapter 2. Chapter 3, I talked about finding fulfillment in what you do as an individual. Chapter 4 was about time maximization. Chapter 5, I talked about how organizations can help an individual to live a harmonized life. Because when an individual is not harmonized, when an individual hasn't understood what his or her vision in life is, his values, what it is he or she is supposed to be doing, it will be very difficult for that person or for that employee to give his or her best at work. Okay, so I talked about how organizations can help to provide a suitable work environment, an enabling work environment. These days we are talking about, thanks to COVID-19, everybody is talking about virtual work and all of that, but these are the things I talked about in my book. Gone are the days that you expect employees to report at the workplace, okay? Now we are promoting, exactly, now we are
Yes, so
promoting
happy about that.
work from home, flexible work arrangement. These are all the things I talked about, and how organizations could actually create flexible work arrangement, virtual working, so that people can actually be able to better juggle the different demands of life, okay, while still being productive at work. So I also talked about, in chapter 6, talked about building and maximizing valuable relationship, where mentorship comes in, networking comes in. I also talked about finances, because I found out in the course of my coaching with clients, a lot of times the reason why they don't achieve their goals is because they have money blocks. They have challenges, even mentally, that disempowers them, that don't allow them to move forward to make the kind of money that they are supposed to be making. So I talked about how you can grow and multiply your income and sustain it as well. Then I also talked about ultimately I talked about self-care. Okay, self-care is very important. So I talked about it, how and why you should prioritize yourself first before, because it's until you are well, that is actually when you'll be able to give in your best at work. And then finally, I talked about, the final one was deliberate practices that I talked about. When you set all these goals and you are not self-disciplined, you don't practice all what you have identified, if you don't put in the actions, that if you don't do the work that you have identified, then that goals becomes just a dream. Okay, so that is basically what the book is all about. So it's for
Awesome.
busy professionals that are burnt out, overwhelmed, and are confused about what priorities to pursue. So it's for busy professionals and also for organizations who want to build a thriving business.
This is great. I was literally taking a lot of notes. I love I've been like enjoying going back to like pen and paper. I think that's part of the kind of spirituality, or kind of even self-esteem and rest and sleep, because we need to also rest our eyes. There's now like so many things that are happening. Like I've read an interesting article about how people are getting even tired from doing Zooms. Like, and I realized it because I was doing a Zoom call every Saturday, just as a coffee with the alumni from my master, fellow entrepreneurs. It actually got a bit tiring that I actually said this week, let's skip this weekend. Let me just rest a little more also because I had a live stream with you. So, but it's crazy how, like, especially as we are more online and working more from online, we need to slow it down.
Let me share with you what happened yesterday. Yeah. Let me share with you what happened yesterday. So I belong to a lot of groups, WhatsApp groups, and ever since we started working from home, there has been several virtual learning platforms, this Zoom meeting and the other Zoom meeting. And I just told them, yesterday was Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, let's just find a way to relax. We could have a virtual party. So we just rest. Mentally we are exhausted. Cerebrally we are exhausted. Let's just breathe. Okay, so. And that party, that virtual party actually happened. People just from their homes, and we all signed up to Zoom. At the background, we had a DJ that was playing the song, and everyone was choosing their playlist, and we all danced. So you could see that people were happy. It just increased our happy hormones. People were relaxed. They were able to exercise and burn calories. So a lot of times, yes, even though we are promoting virtual learning and all of that, but we need to take a break sometimes. We really need to take a break.
Wow, this is why I took a break from my screen. So I came all the way down back to my chair.
I can see that. I wanted to ask you why.
I want to take a quick break from my screen, Professor. I'm going to call you Professor from now on. Because I really think, I've been also doing this while I do Zoom calls with some one-on-one, but I wanted to kind of throw that out to people and say that I think it's okay if you have a room to go a bit more far away from the screen, because as I'm going more far away from the screen, I can think more about my notes, and I can think more about what you're saying if I'm just listening to you, right? So the other thing that I read in this Zoom article was actually by BBC. So interesting article is that it should be okay for people to have no video, right? Or to be far away from the video, right? So like you gotta be really mindful of the stuff, right? You can't force people to go on video. You can ask, but if somebody cannot do it, like, don't feel bad, Kind of. I remember last time. I'm not gonna do it now, although I kind of feel like, but maybe I will.
What's that?
Like, no. Last time I was on another Zoom call with somebody talking about the health stuff. I have a weight here in the room. I picked out the weight and I said, "Do you mind if I do some weights while I'm talking to you?" Just like, and she's cool. She's an influencer. She's young. She has 1.8 million followers on TikTok. She's from Seattle, and she's like, "Oh no, go ahead." And that's what I love about World American.
Really?
And she's like, "Of course, go ahead. Like, don't even mention it." Actually, I want to come close because someone asked or said something on YouTube. We definitely always want to show comments from the audience so that we can be listening to others. So maybe you want to read it, Ada.
Yes, I can see. I say, well said, Nkem. Self-care is a big conversation. It is deliberate and continuous, especially when we know that we are our biggest resource. Unfortunately, we invest less on ourselves. That is true. That is true. In my organization, there was a time that, vacation was, you have an option to go on vacation or you monetize your vacation. And surprisingly, a lot of people were choosing the option of monetizing their vacation. They weren't going on vacation. And before you knew it, people started burning out. People started fainting in the office. Yes. And
actually, talking about fainting in the office, can I say a funny story? When I worked in I worked in Beijing in China in 2008 while I was at Nokia, and about 2-3 p.m. after lunch, you would hear people like snoring in the office. So a lot of Chinese were just like falling asleep and like on their desk, just like this. And I thought, at first time I hear somebody snoring, I'm like, oh my god, someone's gonna get fired here. But then it's like it was totally cool, and this whole like obviously resting is something that should be okay. So like that I think we should tell people like to
And
do. Yeah.
And there are different ways for you to achieve self-care, okay? It's not about just going on vacation. Vacation is very expensive. There are other inexpensive ways to actually prioritize your self-care. Even reading a book is self-care, okay? It helps you relax when you lie down for an hour or two to read a book. It also relaxes your mental nerves. Okay, so there are so many ways. So like I said, you read a book, it will help. You can relax and watch a movie. Is a way of helping yourself relax. There are so many things. You can just decide to just lie down and rest and not do anything. Okay,
Yeah.
you can go to the spa if you have the money, get a massage. Okay, get your pedicure and and manicure done. Even go to the salon and get your hair done. By the time they are massaging your head, it's also very relaxing. Whenever I go to the salon and they want to wash my hair, I tell the lady, I just want you to massage my scalp.
I
It's
say that all
very
the time. I
relaxing.
say that all the
Exactly.
time. Seriously.
It's very relaxing. So there are
It-
so many ways
yeah.
to take care of oneself. You don't have to travel the whole world if you don't have the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. So, and the point about the Chinese
And
guys falling
then
asleep
your
is that
medical, then also your health is also very important. Ensure a lot of times people, when they feel sick, they self-medicate. Just go to the hospital, do a test. You can decide to do twice in a year or quarterly. Ensure that you go for medical checkup, all right, so that you know what is happening to your body and you know on time and you are able to take care of it. That is also very important. Exercise. I tell people I like to make my exercise very fun. I don't go to the gym. I use my
mm,
house. And what I do most times is that I just put on the music channel and I dance. When I dance, I am happy, I am sweaty.
mm,
So just so many ways to take care of yourself. It's not expensive at all. But it's just for us to
yeah,
create that time that's a problem.
I agree. Like, I mean, we've been doing a bit of dancing here around the house. Sometimes just put some music and just dance around, and it's the most fun.
Mhm,
I haven't done
mhm.
the Zoom dance session. I'm definitely gonna have to try that. I think I might throw a Zoom party tonight just for fun. Let's see what happens.
Try it. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
Like we all
yeah,
had
yeah.
our drinks and all of that. We cooked in our houses and it was fun. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
it.
think this is a whole area to build with actually specific tricks, specific tools in order to get all of these points done. Like another thing that it's on my to-do list is that right now I actually have two screens, so that I have a screen where we manage the live, and then I have another screen where I see what's going on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
right? If somebody has some
Okay.
comments there. Where what I would like to
Okay.
do is to actually have like a projector and see stuff on a projector,
Okay.
because for instance what I realize is that one of the things that is killing me the most is screen time, right? Too much in front of the screen, and it's not
Mhm.
just the
Mhm.
computer but also the phones. And
Mhm.
that's a big issue, because like Apple and Google both started to tell you like track how much time you spend in front of the screen, right? And that's still you're still
Yeah.
not tracking that in front of the Mac OS, in front of your Mac or PC, because
Mhm.
oftentimes mobile evolved faster than even desktop technologies. And so like I for instance put a projector in my bedroom so that when I watch movies at night, I just they're being pushed out on a
Turn it off.
wall.
It's off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's
no,
not
I
very
just thought
close to
it's
you.
the LCD and the LEDs, right? That just like get your eyes really tired. If it's a projector, like
Mhm.
also
Mhm.
or like what do I do is that I have right next to my computer I have a Kindle. So e-reader, right? Every
Okay.
time that somebody sends me a PDF or a large text, I
Oh,
immediately send it
okay,
out there.
interesting.
Yeah. So I'm a geek,
Interesting.
right? And I'm very practical guy. So I'm trying to tell you, like, I think what we could do, write something together. I can't wait to read your book. Hopefully, you can give me the early version because I like to get early versions of the book. Yes, and I'll give you my early
Okay,
version of
that's
my book.
fine.
I wrote it
Funnily,
about.
I didn't plan to have an e-copy. I didn't
Ah,
plan to have an
are you
e-copy
kidding me?
because
Of course, you need to have an e-copy. That's the most important. That's the
well,
best way to sell.
it's
Okay,
not
we will
compulsory, right?
discuss that
And
separately.
I don't plan to have an e-copy.
That's our new business. I will convince you about that later. Hold on, I think we have another comment,
All
so
right.
I'll come closer to here. And I love it. I'm keeping in shape because I'm moving between one chair and the other chair, so it's good. Uh,
Awesome.
so I think, yeah, Adaobi, thanks for your comments, and guys, please keep it coming. Asks, maybe I'll take this one, so I wake up a little bit. Please share deliberate
Okay.
practices that working professionals with kids can include in their daily lives to achieve a balanced work life during lockdown, work from home. One thing you could do is to do
Okay.
like, I'm not kidding, like I've seen that, do like pull-ups with your kid. So like have your kid, if it's not too big, if it's not like 17-year-old, I
Mhm.
think as long as you're in the few years,
Mhm.
few months or few years of age and you're keeping in shape, you can put up your kid and
Mhm.
he's having or she's having fun.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
one. So
And you
you're,
are
you're
also
optimizing.
exercising.
Yeah, when you can hit two pigeons with two birds with one stone, like you're working out and your kid is enjoying. That's the one I can
Awesome.
think of.
I
About.
love
Maybe
that
you can go.
response.
And Cam, you can go next. You have any thoughts?
Okay, so like I always tell people, have a plan. Yes, I always tell people have a plan. Okay, so for every day, or rather before the next day, maybe before you go to bed, have a list of the things you're supposed to do. And because you have kids and you have a spouse, you should bring this. This is an era of collaboration. Okay,
Yeah.
before now I could say outsource, but no, it's not everybody that is working now. People are locked down in their houses, so outsourcing might not work now, but what will work now perfectly is collaboration. So if you have a spouse and if you have kids, give them responsibilities. Okay, find
Mm-hmm.
something that can engage them. Okay, if you can give them an assignment, a virtual assignment on their computer, on their laptop to do, to engage them while you reclaim the time to do something else. You can give them a chore in the house to do. All right, or your spouse could help you to assist, so that you could have your own time, you could have your me time. So it's always important to involve everyone, collaborate as a family. Let the spouse, let your partner, let your children understand that the situation we are in now can be overwhelming for anyone if the chores or the responsibility are not shared. So one of the tips is actually to collaborate. Let everyone
Yeah,
have
I
a
would.
sense of responsibility.
Yeah, I was gonna say also to like organize, right? So I've been like, for
Hmm.
instance, organizing my calendar, and I share my calendar and say like, this is my calendar. You can check it.
Exactly.
You
That
know,
was
you
what
know
I
that I'm
talked
gonna have
about.
like. You know that
Having a
I'm gonna
plan.
have
Yeah.
like a live stream right now with Nkem, so I'll be busy or have another call here and there. So like, and then try obviously, try to make some free space so that you can go and help
Hmm.
out. That's also important. I also have another trick.
Exactly.
Right now, I don't need to get up as much anymore because I have a remote control to control my Mac from here, so I can like
Hmm.
push a next comment from here. It's been a little hack for me to, when you're relaxing and you're watching something on your computer, and you don't want to get up anymore, get a remote for your
Hmm.
computer, because when you're resting,
Hmm.
you really have to rest. Like you just, even if you're watching something and so on, like you don't want to get up for doing anything anymore. But like, I think there's a ton of these small little things. But I think let me go back to the first 12 stuff, because I think there's a one thing I wanted to ask you is that
Is there another comment?
is there another comment? No, I don't see another comment. Yeah, there's a comment.
Okay.
Francesco is a good friend of mine. He's just saying hi. Hello, Francesco. He's a good friend of mine, almost like a family member. He's an Italian guy from my town who
Oh,
lived in
okay.
Australia for many years. Ciao,
Okay.
Francesco. Can't wait to see you soon. As soon as this lockdown is over, he's now living by the beach. I'm half an hour from the beach. I cannot wait to go to the beach. I need that. No, going back to your list of the 12 list, I have a feeling that there's could be some kind of subcategory of
The 12 dimensions
categorization.
of life.
Yeah, those. Sorry, 12 dimensions of life. So is there any ways to like? Are you grouping them together in any way or no? Can you hear me? I think
so
I lost
what
you a
I
bit. Yeah.
do is when you talk about subcategorization, you find out that for each category there are subcategories as well. But if you want to group them, it's also possible that you can group them. So things like personal development. So you have things like your career, your passion and energy. All those could come under personal development. You could have the social. So it's possible to categorize it and reduce it to like maybe 7 or 6. So you have personal, you have spiritual, you have probably mental, okay, and you have social. So every other thing can come under social. So friends and social network, fun and recreation will come under social. Okay. Then things like success and achievement, career and business, all those ones could come under personal development. Then spirituality, of course, will have things like faith building, things like your passion could actually come under spirituality, because most of the time it's our faith that enables us to want to have a deep sense of knowledge about our creator, and that also exposes us to our passion in life or our purpose in life. So yes, it's possible to categorize them.
I actually have another friend of mine who's a great person, Cristina Garza, who's from Mexico, who's saying hi to us. Actually, she's saying hi to the other guy who's writing the comments.
Adobe.
He's becoming Adobe is becoming more important, and Nkem, the name of the person, the name of the person is Nkem. We have to give feedback to these guys of StreamYard that the name of the people disappears when we show the comment. That should not happen.
Oh,
maybe next time I'll also need to build like something here on top, make the little kind of frame so that your name is always there. But anyways, yeah, I mean, and are there, what I think is missing, like, or what I'm looking for? So we have all these tools to optimize your work, right? I'm actually using a lot to-do list, and I'm using ways to like track what I'm doing, what I'm working on next, and how much time am I spending on this or that. Have you have you used any web tools, any apps for like, the other 12 areas aside from work?
To monitor track my time and all, right?
Yeah, let's say, I think I don't know if your book has that. If your book doesn't have that, we should definitely talk about that. Like, for each of those 12 dimensions, what apps, what websites could you use for enhancing those, for tracking and enhancing those, so like, and maybe is there one app that tracks all of those, that pushes you to remember all of those, because there should be, if there isn't yet, and I haven't found it. I mean, there's let's say I found, in terms of
there's one.
Yeah, tell me first what you know.
There's actually one that a friend of mine, there's one that a friend of mine actually built, Life Reading. Okay, so Life Reading helps you to just monitor the number of hours you spend on each activity in a day. So on these areas of life that I talked about, so it helps you monitor it. So I cannot talk so much about it, but I know that he's building it, and we talked about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to include that in my book, and once it's out, it's ready, I'm going to use it. So I did a test, and it was fantastic.
Okay, nice. So is he a friend from Nigeria, or where is he from?
He's Nigerian, but he's currently in the US.
Okay, cool. That's a great place to be
Yeah.
for getting stuff done. And which part in US?
I think he's in San Francisco. I'm not very sure. I
Oh,
think he's in San
perfect.
Francisco.
That's a
Yeah.
great place. That's where I lived
Yes.
for last 3 years before leaving US, and before that I was in San Diego, but I was
Oh.
going to San Francisco once a month for almost a week.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm very
Okay.
familiar with that. Cool. Yeah, feel free to put us in touch. I'd love to hear more. I feel there's still a big
All
gap,
right.
but in terms of apps that I know that do stuff like that, there's like all those
Mm-hmm.
Calm and like Headspace, which
Mm-hmm.
are like just for the kind of meditation part, which is very, very obvious. But I
Yeah.
think there's other parts of this 12 dimensions of life. And of course, there's all those Bible apps for spirituality or whatever other religion you're of. There's apps for any religion. That's fine. There's a lot of apps for
Mm-hmm.
health and wellness. I still haven't found a
I
good
know,
one.
I know, I know, I know you're a techie person, so the apps discussion is very, you find it very interesting.
Yeah, well, I think that everyone is an app person right now. We all
Yeah,
use our phones more than our computer. I
true.
use my computer just for work, as little as I can use it, and then I'm like out
Mm-hmm.
of it. In fact, I told you I think I want to
Mm-hmm.
go back to my armchair because anyways, I hear you perfectly with my Bluetooth headset. I know I look so far away, but who cares? You will give you the spotlight.
I hope your
But
audience won't be missing you.
anyways, we're talking about life work balance. So I'm like, balancing by doing it on Saturday, by being a bit far away. Um, there's definitely apps for the financial money part. Like there's Mint that checks kind of all your bank account and stuff in US. There's even some apps for relationship and marriage. I remember like many years ago I used some app that was called Couple or something like that, which
Okay.
basically
I think I think
tried just.
I think both of us had to work on something. We can create something together.
But I think even like I think like even doing a list of like what happens is that I actually work on the App Store, and one of the biggest issue with the App Store is that there's millions of apps, and you don't know which one to
Mm-hmm.
discover, right? So let's say you want to
Mm-hmm.
know what are the best apps to actually cover all of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a very good holistic list that people would really like want to read and want to understand, and then maybe we can find some
Mm-hmm.
areas in which
Mm-hmm.
nothing is being done. Like for instance, one thing that we're thinking about developing, and maybe I can actually show you a couple of things that we built. I showed you already Share Doc View. I know you kind of signed up for that. So that's like a tool for basically um, creating a sharing PDFs via links. So
Okay. Okay.
let me show it again. So basically for all that it does is that you sign up for free, you upload a PDF,
Okay.
and then you share it via link, so that you know exactly
Okay.
who opened up your document when and who downloaded it.
Yeah.
Get all this
Mm-hmm.
analytics. You don't need to attach files via email every time. You can update the docs from the cloud. No need to install new
Okay.
software. Everything is in the cloud again. And you
Okay.
keep one
Okay.
area where your team can share the files. And you can enter your email. You can ask people to enter their email to sign up, so that you know exactly who it is. And as I
Mm-hmm.
said, we have a free plan forever, so definitely
Okay.
check that out and let us know your thoughts. But also we've been working on another thing that could help, where we're thinking to do something more in the future, which is Calendar Book. Actually, this is Share Doc View has been built with a team in Mexico, although the lead guy is
Okay.
from Bulgaria. And this Calendar Book is been built with a team in Italy, actually from my region.
Okay.
So I'm very, very happy about this. Basically, it's going to be a way to share your calendar, again, with the link. Everything is in the cloud, so you can book me when I'm free. But also one
Okay.
thing we're
Okay.
thinking
That's
about it in
interesting.
here.
So it's, sorry to cut you short. The Calendar
No,
Book is
please.
like Calendly. It's like Calendly.
Yeah, actually, it's there's definitely some similarities with that. We've been trying to
Okay.
improve. There's a lot of other solutions like Calendly in the market, like I don't know,
Okay.
Doodle, or even like HubSpot has this, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
companies do it. we try to make it as easy as possible with the kind of sign in with Google, and also with this dashboard, so that you basically have your calendar types, the calendar events, and your whatever you're booked for in the same page, so you don't need to click anywhere. So trying to reduce the amount of clicks that people need to do in order to get stuff done. But related to Calendbook, we've been thinking about something which is the following for managing your friends and friendship, which is this. So really? I have a lot of friends and connections, right? Like on my phone book, I have 20,000 connections. It's almost like too much. Also 22,000 on LinkedIn, 5,000 on Facebook. And there's, because I travel to so many places and because I networked a lot and I went to a lot of conferences, right? But then the problem is that I would like to an app that lets me prioritize my top contacts, sends them an email or a message or whatever, and says, Vincenzo, this is Vincenzo, I'm prioritizing you. I want to talk to you whenever you're free. Please get onto our app.
Awesome.
If you prioritize me as well, and we're both free, we're gonna be told, please talk to each other. Because so many times I want to talk to friends, but I don't know when they're free. I haven't properly gone out, and I don't have a system that helps me connect with existing friends, and especially now. I've been meeting new people, but then I'm like, oh, I need to link up back with my old friends. And I've been doing that, but it's been a bit manual. I haven't gone through the whole list, and I want to do it. And I was even adding tags, like adding BFF for best friend. So I type BFF in my phone book, and all my best friends come up, and I make sure I'm like, who did I not speak to in a while? And I think friends is a huge area of happiness. There's very few things in life that give you as much strength and self-confidence and happiness and health and even wealth and fun and spirituality and even success and peace and everything. I think friends can give you so much. Of course, family too, but friends is just you can really have so many friends these days, and especially these days where people might be a little bit more down. You gotta get back to your friends. In fact, today I was supposed to speak to a friend. I didn't get a chance to speak to her, and I can't wait to just make time and talk to her. It's like
friends and social network is very important. It's very important because you find out that a lot of times that it's when you build a social support network that you find out that people that are probably in the same struggle with you, or people that have the same ambition or goal with you. So you are like buddies, goal buddies. You support yourself, okay? You support yourself, and sometimes it's also a good kind of competition when you have friends that are also forward-looking. When you see them doing good, you also want to outdo yourselves. It's not a negative competition, but a positive one. So it's really a good one, as long as
this reminds me of one of my best friends that I visited a couple of years ago. And I went to visit him because he built a whole hotel, 5-star hotel, 100 rooms, almost 20 million euros to build. And it was just an amazing, and literally I was looking at I was on the beach, this place is on the beach, and I was kind of looking at this whole thing he built. And I start to literally have tears down my eyes out of happiness, out of how much I was proud of my friend. And I told him, and we were quite sentimental, both of us, because we're both Southern Europeans, Balkans, and he also had tears, and we just hugged each other. I was so proud of him, but it definitely gave me that boost to be I gotta catch up with this guy without a single tiny bit of drop of envy. There was not even if I was gonna try to feel the envy, I would have felt it, And this is why it didn't happen to me off. I mean, this was the only time it happened, especially to this extent, right? Because and it's also an amazing achievement that he had, and we're very open about our love and our friendship, which not so many people are, because it takes two extroverted person from similar cultures that are open. I think Southern Italians are probably more similar to Africans and to people in the Balkans than we are similar to kind of the Northern Europeans. And I can say that because I actually lived in Finland, for example, for a year. They're completely different from us, although I kind of love the Finns as well, because you can learn from everyone. But yeah, this has been definitely an interesting discussion, super interesting. I don't know if you have any other messages that you want to give, anything else from your side.
Okay, so I just realized that I wanted to talk about work-life conversation that I started last year. So
Mhm.
it's also an offshoot of my work-life coaching. So, but this is like a group coaching session where I bring together groups of working professionals offline, not in a workplace, but just outside of the workplace, where we'll sit together and have a conversation. So the first time I had it, it was just an eye opener, the kind of struggles people go through in life, but they don't really have someone to talk to. Do you understand? So it's a wonderful conversation that I started sometime last year. I was supposed to have one this year. I'm just hopeful that the lockdown will be lifted anytime soon. So my plan was actually to have that conversation again alongside my book launch. Okay, so I'm looking forward to it sometime in
Um,
July.
I mean, if I may say, you're super well spoken. Like you have a global market. You have 80,000 followers. Hopefully, you'll get more of my followers from other parts of outside of Africa to follow you. Hopefully, I'll get more Africans from Nigeria to follow me, so we'll both grow. And hopefully, you can grow your business, also outside of Africa, because I believe you have a massive upside and a massive potential there. Because whatever they will
Mhm.
pay you in euro and dollars might not be so much for them and might be a lot more from you. So like, if there was some suggestion that I would, I definitely want to convince you. I'm writing, usually when I write these notes, I write on the left
Mhm.
the notes, on the right top I put some boxes that are not checked,
Okay.
and I have ebook. I want
Okay.
to convince you of doing the ebook, and I want to convince you of selling your
Okay.
book globally. You can and you should be a global phenomenon. I don't think just Lagos, Nigeria, or Africa. Think global. Like
Of
you
course, the
can go
book is
global.
going to be a global one. Of course, it will be.
But then people want to get
Of
it
course.
right, especially right now. Now
Sorry
libraries
about
recently
that.
open up in Italy, but I typically read them on my Kindle. So like definitely want to convince you
Kindle.
of that. But also I think I
Those
would
are in
like
the
to convince.
works.
Yeah, I definitely want to convince you of thinking like more global and online. And now it's been obviously the best time. Like to be honest, COVID has been a tragedy, but I'm such an
Hmm.
optimistic person that like I've been truly enjoying the everybody going more online and remote, because I've done
Hmm.
that to myself. Like I was in California 8 years, kind of on the hamster wheel, as we say, like the America, like going like in a vortex, and ends up being like
Hmm.
vortex. And I said, hold on, I want to pause. After I got my US passport, I said, I want to reconnect with my roots. I want to reconnect with my family. Again, every time I remind, this is my grandfather with my same name, Vincenzo, who wrote a lot of books about poetry, music, history, and so on, Vincenzo
Wow.
Terenzio. And it's so nice to be here where he was reading, where he was studying, where he was writing books, and
Hmm.
in all sorts of languages. And that's kind of like, I want to like slow life down, slow the rhythm, increase the depth, you know. And now, and at first, sometimes, very few times, I felt a bit disconnected from, like some people, oh, but you're missing what's happening in Silicon Valley here and there. And now, like, really, the narrative is like, everybody go global, everybody go remote. You can't, we can't, nobody in Silicon Valley goes to the office. And
Hmm.
it's been like so positive, and also for the earth, it's been so positive, right? You've seen all those images of like, you can finally see
True.
some monuments in India, not as much pollution. So it's like, I think
True.
probably in this work-life balance, we need something about the speed. Like there should be something about the actual speed at which you do things, and like there's an element of time management that maybe might be missing. Like both time in terms of like split the day, like we were showing in that graph, and slow
Hmm.
down, right? Because you think you're going faster and doing more really fast, and you're working super fast,
Exactly. And you find out that
and
you're not
you're not doing
actually
anything.
living. Exactly.
Yeah.
You find out that you're not living. True.
So I think
True.
there's an element of time there. I think there's still a big opportunity in terms of tracking your whole day, everything that you do, and saying,
Hmm.
I'm actually feeling happy. I'm not feeling so happy. Maybe you need to do a bit more of this.
So
Did you
that's
speak to a
where
friend?
journaling that's where journaling comes in. So I also talked about it in the book. That's where journaling. So if you keep a journal, a daily journal, to put down at the end of the day, write down the things that happen to you. Write down put down your thoughts,
I have to
your
disagree with that.
emotions.
I have to disagree with that.
Okay.
And here's why. And you know, this is the first time I disagree. So if I would do a journal, I would literally, personally, I would get depressed because I'm like, I'm doing this journal right now. Yeah, here's why.
Okay.
I'm doing this journal right now on a piece of paper. You know, I'll never go back to read it. It's not intelligent. It's not gonna tell me, hey, Vincenzo, you haven't spoken to friends. You didn't dedicate time to speaking to friends today. You should do it every day. You should speak to 1 or 2 friends. And I cannot wait to literally hang this up, relax a bit, because it's always good to detach and disconnect a bit, and then start calling some friends. And it's like, there should be apps and smart stuff that already makes us so like unproductive and sad. Like watching the Facebook feed, supposedly it's one of the things that makes you the most sad. According to a lot of studies, and that's because you're there and you're passive. You're passively looking at other people, and Facebook. I don't know how the hell what they're doing with the algorithms. Like really, like I love them sometimes and I hate them for their stuff. Like the way they do the algorithms, that just doesn't make sense. Like I wish I could just easily create a feed of people. You should be able to. You were able to do it before, just on my best friends, and just see them, and then see everybody else somewhere else. But I want an app. Basically, my point is that I want an app, a website that tracks all those 12 things, that gives me some specific stuff that you should do, specific steps to manage all of that. And I think I don't know if there is anything like that. If it's not, it's
so
missing.
that's one who said is a conversation that we will have.
Yes.
Research and research and see if there is.
First, we will research. First, what we should do is research what's out there, right? And then after you've done a lot of research, you've studied everything, you figure out, you know, where there's a gap and so on. But I think it is definitely something that is super needed. I mean, and now even more so, because I think what we basically realized even more so, which I already felt and knew, but I think we agree, is that with this working from home, you did not increase the balance or the harmony. You actually, I personally felt I skewed it a lot more towards work, and that's why for me, it was amazing that we had this conversation, because we've been talking only about work-life balance for an hour, which I never thought of doing it before, because I thought it was going to be like very unproductive. But now, because I knew I went too much over the side of work, I needed to think holistically, like you said, and harmonize it, and not just balance it, but really harmonize
it.
Not just
focus on what it's not really balanced. It's to harmonize.
But I need a smart. I think I need, and everybody needs, a smart coach, and we have that technology. There should be a smart coach that helps you harmonize it with specific stuff of what you should do. It tracks your time. Even things like, for instance, I know that in terms of resting, I know that you're supposed to sleep 15 minutes. If you sleep more than 15 minutes, like some type of deeper sleep comes in, and so when you wake up, you feel more tired than before. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I have to research this, but you said it's
15 minutes. Did you say 15 minutes?
Supposedly it's 15 minutes during the day. Let's say you want to sleep during the day, right?
Oh, during the day, like a nap. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to take a power nap, you shouldn't go more than 15 minutes. Otherwise, and I don't know. Like there are some experts that know that. It's also about like finding all those experts that could do it. I think there is. Adaobi that I love, because is a guy, right? No, it's a lady. Sorry, because I don't recognize Adaobi is a lady. I'm sorry, because I don't know the Nigerian names. So she says there are apps for journaling, and they have reminders. Simple Note app does that. I actually don't know Simple Note app, but I'm okay. Very,
I'll take note of that. I'll check it.
Yeah, we will definitely check that out. I mean, I'm looking at let me actually show that on here, so we show how responsive we are here. We're like really listening to our comments, and today we got the most comments, all thanks to you. They're all coming from your side, because you have 4 times my amount of followers. I only have 22,000, you have 80,000. I'm missing engagement.
Interesting.
But it's been great. But Simple Note, it seems like there's too much in terms of stay organized and work together. Like, I think there needs to be a lot more. Actually, it's by the guys, who's Automatic is the company that did the WordPress. Oh, they actually have
WordPress.
well.
Okay.
Oh wow, I didn't know they
Okay.
have that. So it must be great software because that would be. Feel free to write us any other comments about this. Like if you use it, what did you see specifically that it does in terms of checking on this some of these 12 areas. Like um, but thanks for sharing that, and we'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, thanks to, yeah, I'll definitely check it.
So awesome. Like I told you in our call, I think the other part of life, as part of life balance, there's this kind of Pomodoro technique that you should work 50 minutes max, maybe an hour,
Pomodoro,
and then
yes.
cut it. So now even though we talked about work-life balance, we hit the 1 hour, so we really got to pause and go
Oh,
back
really?
to
Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad it flew for you. That's it. I'm very happy about that you didn't think it was boring.
I think I like
And
conversation, so most of the time, just time just goes, you won't even know.
no, for me as well. To be honest, I definitely look forward to chat with you again. Um, and like I said last time, this like really didn't happen every single time, as you can as you can understand. There's literally been time that I was like, okay, like this is it. Um, but we do definitely wanna keep in touch. Like I said, ebook and global, and we should do research on this kind of apps for this 12
Yes. Yeah.
dimensions of
Sure.
life. It was definitely very very inspiring for me, and it's nice to feel like I made a new friend in Nigeria. Haven't been there
In
yet. Hope to
Nigeria.
go there at some point.
Hopefully, you'll come very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna take months before the situation clears, if not more. But at least we're in touch. Thanks so much for your time and for sharing all of your knowledge. I think you did amazing in terms of like giving out and sharing more. I think a lot of people still feel like I don't want to share. I'm scared of this. Just share. Give. Sharing is caring, and the more you share, the more people will come back to you. So thanks
Exactly.
again.
Exactly.
Thanks again
Thank
for
you
your
so much for
time.
this opportunity. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
So
Bye
we'll
bye.
keep in touch. Yeah, bye.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.